Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my second Inktober piece, and unfortunately, I have only done 2 thus far, which is quite sad because it's probably the worst I've ever done during an Inktober in like the last several years as far as I can remember, but that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So one of the reasons why I pretty much fell off Inktober completely is because I had a little vacation earlier in the month, and obviously I couldn't do anything while I was away. But then when I came back home, I really couldn't get myself to get back on track with Inktober because I didn't have a solid plan. And a few days ago, when I finally was up to the task, I basically sat down and spent about 2 hours making a bunch of thumbnails, staring at the prompts, trying to come up with ideas, because I mean at that point I had so many prompts that I missed that I could pretty much choose any of them, and I was pretty frustrated to find that I could not come up with any ideas that seemed worthwhile to pursue to me, which is pretty weird because I'm not a particularly high concept person and typically draw things that are relatively simple, and I draw a lot of character portraits, but I came to the conclusion that prompts are just not for me. Like, I can't do it. I can't come up with something that I like. Even if I like the word and I like the idea, and if I feel like I could probably come up with something interesting to draw, it just tends to be the opposite. I found like it's kind of crazy how I've experienced something similar with drawing commissions as well. Sometimes I will completely misjudge how something is going to go based on the initial request or the initial character reference sheets. Like, I will look at something and think that it's super cool, super exciting. I feel pretty stoked to draw it, and then when I get down to it, I find that the experience tends to be the opposite. So anyways, long story short, just wanted to let you guys know that Inktober's pretty much fallen apart for me, and one thing that I specifically wanted to tell you guys about is the fact that one of the biggest things that prevented me from continuing with this Inktober is the fact that I think I've reached a point where I can no longer put off working on my comic. So just to explain, as some of you who have been following me on maybe other social media platforms or have seen me or have listened to me, heard me talk about the comic that I'm in the middle of writing right now, and that I have been trying to write or rewrite for the longest time ever, like several years at this point. I have been putting a lot more work into it these past couple of years, and I have made a lot of progress, but as obviously you guys know, I have never really posted any specific or significant updates on that front. I've just kind of been vaguely telling you guys that I'm working on it and that I'm making progress, but there hasn't been any more than that. And the only thing that I really do is draw my characters from time to time, but these illustrations are typically out of context. They somewhat have some storytelling elements, I suppose. That's kind of how I try to do them anyways, but generally speaking, they're somewhat random, and I wouldn't even put them into the visual development category because I just draw them for no apparent reason, as it turns out. But yeah, so I've been doing something similar with Inktober. Like, I obviously drew my characters, and contextually it did kind of have something to do with the story, but honestly, while I was sitting there and looking at the prompts and trying to figure out what to do, trying to come up with some sort of concept to make new illustrations, I just kind of reached a tipping point, I think, mentally, where I just paused and I was thinking, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing Inktober at all right now? Why am I trying to come up with these random ideas for these random illustrations when in fact I know that there are things I want to be working on there? I want to start doing the layouts for my comic. I want to keep doing the script because I'm in the middle of writing the script for the 3rd chapter, and it's just like, I don't know, I just realized that I keep doing all this random stuff that works as the perfect excuse for me to keep putting on working on my comic indefinitely, just because it's somewhat related. And I keep telling myself that, you know, when I draw illustrations of my characters, technically it's like visual development for my comic, so kind of I am kind of working on it, if you put it that way. And I just think I finally came to the I just admitted to myself that it's just another one of the million excuses that I've been telling myself for the past several years that continuously keeps me from actually starting. So I pretty much just had a rage quit moment when I was just like, no, like, I don't want to do Inktober. I don't want to use this prompt list. I don't understand why I'm doing this in the first place. So I just want to start now. So that's kind of what I ended up doing. After I gave up on that failed Inktober number 3 session, or what it was supposed to be, I just switched straight to working on my script. And while I was writing the script, which is very easy to pick back up again, and I never understand why I end up putting it off for so long. I think it's like fear of failure, but anyways, so as I was working on the script, I realized that I think it would probably be for the best if I just start doing the page layouts or thumbnails or storyboards, whatever you want to call them, simultaneously while writing the script, because previously I did write 2 entire chapters that just described things. Like, I didn't describe every single panel per se, but as I was writing it, in my mind, obviously I pictured the pages and the panels. And the reason why I haven't started doing the layouts yet is because at the time I figured that it might be easier to edit the script or like make big changes to the script if it's just in written form. But if it's already laid out and I already have the thumbnails, maybe it will be a lot more difficult to edit the pacing or edit the scene order if I need to. But you know what, honestly, I thought about it again, and I'm like, I am actually wasting more time doing this because I am already doing the layouts in my head as I'm writing the script anyway, so I might as well just do them. It might take a little bit longer, but I think it would be a lot easier to gauge the pacing from the layouts anyway, because it's something that's kind of difficult to do while looking at the script or reading the script. So yeah, I know I'm pretty much just rambling about what I've had going on in my head recently, but you know what, I think it is kind of important to share with you guys, because honestly, everything that I'm doing is somewhat like hovering around the fact that I just really want to execute the story so I can share it with you guys. And that's why I think it's important for me to probably share a little bit more of where I'm at or what I'm planning to do with you, because maybe it'll just help me hold myself more accountable for the lack of progress that I've been making. And I have had some valid excuses, some more valid than others. I did have a lot of freelance work during the summertime, which made me indefinitely put a pause on a lot of things. But at this point, I have finished all that, and even though I have a couple of other engagements, they're not exactly all time consuming, and I do think I just have to reprioritize and kind of reorganize all my work around just working on this comic now, because I do find myself in a position that is somewhat comfortable, and I could at least afford myself a chance to see where it will go and to just finally start it already. So yeah, that being said, I wanted to let you guys know where I'm at right now and what my plan is, like what my immediate plan is. As some of you may also know, I have been working on some new merchandise for my shop, which will hopefully help me keep afloat for the next few months, as I am planning to do a shop update very soon. I'm excited to say that I've already gotten my new sticker packs, and the reason why I haven't shared them yet is because I do want to do like a nice photo shoot, and also want to wait until I get my new washi tapes. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that is still happening, and I am super excited about it because the stickers turned out perfect. Like, they turned out exactly how I wanted them to, and it actually kind of got me excited to make new packs, but not right now, because right now I am going to focus on starting the comic. And so I wanted to let you guys know that my first plan, or the first stage of my plan, is to do the layouts for the prologue and just start working on that basically as soon as possible. And I did decide that I probably will do the prologue, which is about 10 pages or so. I do want to try doing that on paper. Initially, I was going to do the whole book or the whole comic digitally, because that's how I've been doing comics thus far, for the most part. And I do feel more comfortable with editing things and organizing things digitally, and I do think it reduces the workload a little bit. But you know, I do think that it is limiting to just make a decision to stick to one medium, and knowing myself and how I like to go back and forth, I think it would actually be sensible to use different mediums for different purposes, because why not, you know? And the prologue is a little bit different from the first chapter, obviously. I don't know, in terms of the scene or like the time at which it takes place, so it does contextually makes sense to use a different medium for that, which is also pretty great. So yeah, I'm planning to try to do it traditionally, which is kind of scary but also kind of exciting, because I've honestly never really used this particular approach for comics before. I've only ever done it in like a really manga type of style, where I would just straight ink and then maybe use some screen tones and leave it at that. But this time I obviously want to use a bit more of an illustrative approach, so like the illustration you're looking at now. So hopefully, you know, that'll pan out, but I am very excited to do that. So I just wanted to let you guys know where I'm at, and I'll probably be checking in terms of the progress of that a lot more going forward. And one of the things that typically go hand in hand with starting to work on layouts is making sure that all the character designs and location designs are somewhat known and more or less decided upon prior to doing the layouts. So I do have a little bit of character redesigns to do before I can start it as well, which is something that I'm planning to do today. I have to redesign one of my very, very old characters that I haven't drawn in a million years, and so I'm planning to do that, and hopefully I'm going to also make a video out of that and just talk about what will go into the process of redesigning that character. Yes, and what you're looking at right now, I should have probably mentioned earlier, but yeah, this is the second Inktober piece that I managed to do this month. Unfortunately, the last one until further notice, even though I am thinking that once I redesign this character that I just mentioned, I might want to make a portrait of said character, and you know, I suppose I could label it Inktober, but like I said, I am totally giving up on the prompts, because I've discovered that prompt search is not for me, and if I'm ever gonna do prompts again, I'm most likely gonna make my own list, but I don't even see myself doing that, because I feel like it is a little bit too constricting for me. But anyways, so yeah, what you're looking at here, my second Inktober, the prompt was Elusive Creature, which kind of worked for me because I did end up making sense of it in my head and coming up with this illustration that features one of the somewhat main characters from my story. Her name is Kima, and you will probably find out more about her as I start working on the script and just developing the story more. And that being said, I also wanted to let you guys know that because I am finally committing to actually starting the production of this comic, I do want to set up a Patreon for it so that I can share some behind the scenes stuff and just start building a more small, secondary, intimate community of those of you who are interested in seeing the story realized and want to be part of it behind the scenes. I'll probably set that up sometime soon, as soon as I can, and I will let you guys know about that. And I still don't know how I'm going to structure it, but one thing I know for sure is that I do want to have a Discord, something my friends have been suggesting for a long time, and I've also been wanting to do that. So yes, I will let you guys know when that happens, hopefully soon. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you in this video, and the process of this illustration was pretty straightforward. It was pretty much the same as the previous ones you've seen, so I decided to just skip talking about that. And it was actually a bit bigger than I usually work, which was interesting and made me a little bit impatient, but anyways, that's a different topic altogether. So yeah, and then another thing that I just wanted to quickly mention is that I'm planning to do a live stream this Wednesday for my Reference Wednesday series. I'm just gonna do some figure drawing live for the first time, hopefully answer some questions, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to make another one this week probably, where I will show you the process of my last sticker page, and yeah, so stay tuned for that and the live stream. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.